We're here to idea you, to fire up your curiosity and connect you with the people and ideas that shape our world. Watch, listen, understand, connect, and create. Let's move the human story forward together.
Hello and welcome to The Poetry of Science, a podcast which provides insight into new scientific research via the medium of poetry. I'm your host, Dr. Sam Illingworth, and each week I'll be introducing you to some of the latest scientific findings and sharing a selection of science-themed poetry. After all, we could all do with a little bit more poetry in our lives. In this episode, I'll be exploring new research which has found that cloud clustering causes more extreme rain. Clouds gather like ancient gods, converging, conspiring, shedding secrets of the coming floods. Twilight's blankets cluster, tightening ranks over belted waves to seal their pact in vaulted skies. This bloated congregation now flails with righteous pain, carving sodden welts through fraying skin, and the earth drowns in tears it never thought to shed. This poem is inspired by recent research published in the journal Science Advances, which has shown that global warming could intensify heavy rainfalls and flooding across the equator, affecting millions. Around the equator, heavy rainfalls can lead to flooding, affecting millions of people and causing significant damage to homes and infrastructure. As our planet warms, scientists are trying to understand how these extreme rain events might change. The heart of the issue lies in how rainstorms, especially the most intense ones, will behave in a warmer world. Traditional methods used to predict weather and climate patterns struggle to accurately forecast these events because they do not account for the detailed ways in which rainstorms come together and fall apart, which is essential for predicting the heaviest downpours. In this new study, researchers have taken a closer look at how the heaviest daily rains in tropical regions could change with global warming. By using highly detailed computer simulations and closely examining real-world data, they discovered that the way rainstorms are organised plays a pivotal role in the intensity of rainfalls. Their findings indicate that, as the climate gets warmer, we can expect not only more frequent, but also more intense daily rain extremes. This research provides a clearer picture of future rainfall patterns, suggesting that with a warmer climate, the most extreme rain events could surpass previously established expectations based on temperature and moisture relationships. Now that you've heard the science, let me read the poem to you again. Clouds gather like ancient gods, converging, conspiring, shedding secrets of the coming floods. Twilight's blankets cluster, tightening ranks over belted waves to seal their pact in vaulted skies. This bloated congregation now flails with righteous pain, carving sodden welts through fraying skin, and the earth drowns in tears it never thought to shed. In this section of the podcast, I like to share a poem written by another poet on a topic related to the science that has been discussed so far. In this episode, I'll be reading Clouds by Caroline Forche. Caroline Forche is an American poet, editor and human rights advocate, renowned for her visceral, politically engaged poetry. Born in 1950, her poetry collections include The Country Between Us, published in 1981, and In the Lateness of the World, published in 2020, which was a finalist for the Pulitzer Prize in Poetry and the Neustadt International Prize for Literature. Forche's poetry transcends boundaries, weaving together personal narrative with global politics. She is currently University Professor at Georgetown University, where she directs the Lannan Center for Poetics and Social Practice. Clouds by Caroline Forche. A whip-poor will brushed her wing along the ground a moment ago, 50 years in the orchard where my father kept pear and plum, a decade of peach trees and Antinokova's apples, whose seeds come from Russia by ship, under clouds islanding a window very past, where also went the soul of my mother, in a boat with blossoming sails like apple petals, in wind, 50 years at once. Thank you for listening to the Poetry of Science.
Thank you very much for being with us for this episode of the Idea Me Show. Idea Me is a global platform. Our mission is to move the human story forward by sharing knowledge of the future. You can find us on all major audio networks at www.radioideame.com, on YouTube and Vimeo. Please subscribe.
Wafted into vapour out on the tarmac's run, the way common quartz stone gives off heat which seems to come from inside itself and not, in fact, from that more than imaginably nuclear sun which every morning starts up so illusionless, and every evening slow dissolves on the blue and otherwise planetary hills, like a Valium breaking up on the tongue. Thank you for listening to the Poetry of Science.